As we're working with our payer community to break down the expectations of the advancing interoperability and reducing burden related to prior authorization final rule, there are several questions that are consistently popping up. So the first is that the rule identifies alignment between the decision timeframes for almost all lines of business. However, the one exception is the federally facilitated exchanges and their standard decision-making timeframes. CMS was very clear in the final rule that they are not moving those. Medicare Advantage, Medicaid, and CHIP will ultimately have a 7-day standard decision-making timeframe where the federally facilitated exchanges will maintain a 15-day standard decision-making timeframe. Another area that we're getting some questions on is the expectation when it comes to the transfer of data in the payer-to-payer API. So one area that folks were asking is the rule aligns that, for example, payer A, whereby a member originated their data from, essentially moves to payer B. Is it the expectation when that member ultimately moves to payer C that payer B is only responsible for the information that they're maintaining for that member or previous member? Or is the expectation for payer B to also exchange the data that came initially from payer A? So it might be a bit of a confusing concept. But at the end of the day, the rule is very clear that once payer A exchanges data to payer B and that member moves to payer C, payer B is responsible for also including that originating data. There are specific timeframes that are tied to how long data has to be maintained and passed through for each of those different scenarios. So some of the challenges that our clients are expressing to us that may come into play is how to manage that amount of information for that long of a period to ensure that that information can be smoothly transitioned from payer A to payer B to payer C. Some of the lines of business that exist today actually require maintenance of information for 10 years. So it isn't a huge shift in that from that perspective, but ensuring that everyone's aligned around what those expectations are and ensuring that the data moves through the various scenarios as expected is going to be an important piece of compliance to ensure that that payer-to-payer API functions and works as it should.